Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing today? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is $3 Theater. And you know, Lucasfilm is a very interesting company to watch. It's a very fascinating company to watch, mostly because I don't think they know what they need to do in order to survive. I think I know what they need to do in order to survive. But of course, we're not going to see eye to eye, and I'm in no position to give them any kind of advice that they will ever take. Although if they want to get out of this predicament that they're in, listening to someone like me or the people here on the internet could maybe potentially help. However, this is one thing I think some people out there would agree with Kathleen Kennedy on, that multiple Star Wars films per year are not going to work. I, on the other hand, completely disagree. And it's all about the framing of how you present it. And that is where Kathleen Kennedy did not do it well enough. And she talks about that. So let's go into this here. So it says, when it comes to our favorite television shows and movie franchises, it can be hard to admit when we're getting too much of a good thing. It's true. So fans like Star Wars a lot, for example, but they didn't especially take the Solo, a Star Wars story, the Han Solo origin film that came out last year and underperformed at the box office. Was it a fluke? Or were audiences suffering from Star Wars fatigue? Now, a lot of people out there will probably argue in the comment section, it was absolutely Star Wars fatigue. No one asked for Solo. Well, as I've said before, no one really asks for any movie. I mean, some of them we do ask for, like Deadpool, and we get it. But oftentimes these are just created by somebody and they get made. That's kind of how it works. But was Solo a fluke? And I think, honestly, the answer to that is yes. I do. I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that Solo came out at a very crowded time. It was coming off of 5 months, 6 months of The Last Jedi just getting dumped on because it was a narratively terrible film. And people just didn't go out on Memorial Day weekend, which had traditionally been a low-earning weekend anyway for the previous 4 years. Never mind, Deadpool 2 came out the week before it and took away $44 million out of that weekend. That could have potentially at least pushed Solo over the $100 million mark, which would have then marked it a success and not an $88 million opening weekend bomb. Super weird how that $100 million mark does everything different, right? Anyway, as part of its coverage of the upcoming Rise of Skywalker, Empire spoke with Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy about that very subject and about the House of Mouse's plans for the franchise moving forward. We don't have a crystal ball, she said. We tried to look at Solo and see if we could do 2 movies a year, and we found, that's not going to work. So we backed off a little. That doesn't mean we don't think about lots of different stories. That's the exciting thing about this universe. Well, it's true. They do think of a lot of different stories. Guess where all those stories are going? Disney Plus. All things considered, it's going to Disney Plus. And I think that's where we're going to see a lot of good things. But this thing here, she says, we tried to look at Solo to see if we could do 2 movies a year. And we found, that's not going to work. Except that's not entirely accurate. That's not entirely legitimate. That's not entirely truthful. Let me explain. Originally, The Last Jedi was going to come out on Memorial Day weekend 2017. The initial release dates for Disney Star Wars were December 2015, The Force Awakens, December 2016 for Rogue One, Memorial Day weekend, May 2017 for The Last Jedi, because they wanted to hit that 40th anniversary of the release of the original Star Wars film. That's why Solo dropped on the anniversary, on the 41st anniversary, is why that happened. And that's the truth. That's exactly why they did it. But they ended up delaying the Last Jedi by 6 months. We don't quite know why. If there has been information, I don't remember off the top of my head. But I mean, if I had to speculate, I would say Carrie Fisher's passing and her part in the film delayed it in order for them to figure out exactly what to do. And, they still let Luke Skywalker die. So, yeah. Oh, Lordy, not a lot of planning on that one there. Now, when she says here, that doesn't mean that we don't think about lots of different stories. That's the exciting thing about this universe. That tells me that that has a lot to do with Disney Plus as well as the expanded universe. We know that while they did take the expanded universe, decanonize it, turn it into Star Wars Legends, they are free to pick and choose how they want to go about it, right? They are free to pick and choose things from the EU to make new canon out of, which is just BS. Just go back. Those stories already have an audience. They already have a built-in fan base. There's a reason why it's been 16 years since the release of KOTOR, and people are like, could we get a KOTOR movie? Like, I will come back to freaking Disney Star Wars if you give me a damn KOTOR movie. And we've heard rumors that David Weiss and DB Weiss and David Benioff, the Game of Thrones guys, are potentially going to be going to the Knights of the Old Republic realm to tell their trilogy films. Which, honestly, given how things have been and how kind of divisive the franchise is, it makes sense to go 4,000 years into the past, so they have a lot of wiggle room when it comes to theatrical. But the TV shows are still focusing around the core Skywalker saga. Now, the article does go on to say here that some of the stories may be originating in the mind of Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige, who will be working with Kennedy on Star Wars going forward. Well, that's not entirely accurate. We know he's working on one movie, but I think we can all agree here. I think we can all legitimately agree here. Oh, they are he's going to be taking over. She's done in 2021, right? She's done in 2021. That means that the next movie that comes out is going to be like the last thing she greenlit movie-wise. 2022, a whole year after she departs, because she's going to depart. Is Feige going to step in and take over Lucasfilm as well as run Marvel Studios? Part of me thinks that's the thing. Iger is set to leave in 2021. I don't think Feige is going to take over for Iger, but that's been heavily rumored. He wants to do Marvel. Don't make him do the whole damn company. Now, it goes on to say here that we don't know exactly how involved with the franchise will be, but it makes sense that Disney would look at the unmitigated success Feige has had with Marvel and wonder if he can't spread it around a bit. Well, the thing is, this is exactly what they want. They want to have multiple films a year. They want there to be a Star Wars cinematic universe. And for all intents and purposes, it should be. There's enough lore there. There's enough love there to sustain it, provided it's good. Provided that it's good. If it's not good, no one's going to care. That's why I think Disney Plus is ultimately what's going to come in and save Star Wars. I think it's going to come in and save it. I think that's what's going to happen. This is where Kennedy's going to start to repair the brand, is through Disney Plus. And then from there, take some stuff into the cinematic world. Very similar to how Feige is going to be approaching the Marvel Disney Plus shows and using that as a springboard into the cinematic universe. It's really smart. Like, really smart. If the shows are good, that will translate to the films. You will have a lot of brand loyalty, and the branding for Star Wars can be repaired. The thing, though, that they have to remember is that it's really about trying to reestablish that loyalty with the brand or with the fans. So then they'll go and spend money on the merch. Tomorrow is Triple Force Friday. And honestly, I don't quite know what to expect from it. I'm probably going to go check it out at the store because I live in such a low volume area. I don't think I'm going to get a lot, which is unfortunate. But it is where we find ourselves right now. Anyway, I am curious to know your guys' thoughts and your opinions on this. What do you think? Do you think that Star Wars could survive two more movies a year? I think it could. I think it could. I think it absolutely could. I think any kind of cinematic universe you want to create could sustain that 2 to 3 films a year. If the stories and the characters are compelling, and if the audience is not talked down to, and if the audience is ultimately put first, which, let's be fair, when it comes to Disney Star Wars, even though I do enjoy 3 out of the 4 films released thus far, I would argue that the fans have not been put first, but in fact it was the shareholders trying to recoup that $4.08 billion purchase, of which Lucas got a lot of stock, which is one of the reasons why Lucas has not come out and crapped on Disney yet. which is one of the reasons why ever since his white slavers comment from 2015 or beginning of 2016, we have not heard much out of him in regards to his thoughts on Star Wars. So that should be interesting. That should be fun. Anyway, again, I leave it to you, your thoughts, your opinions. Let me know down in the comments below. If you made it this far, go ahead and type in Lucasfilm into the chat so I know. And if you want to help support the channel, patreon.com/Matt Jarbo, link right there on the screen. And Hollywood After Dark, my podcast, will be returning very, very, very soon. I'm just getting the details sorted out, and I look forward to seeing you guys all there. Or you can follow me on Twitter @mjarbo, where I'm pretty active, just so you know. I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day, and peace out.